Hello, everyone. Welcome to the annual general meeting of the Ardian Foundation. My name is Frédéric Bedos. I'm a journalist and the founder of an NGO of information called Le Projet Imagine, and I'm delighted to be your host. We are live from Paris, and you are connected from all over the world. So first of all, let me thank you for your presence. We are together for roughly 1 hour and a half, and a rich program awaits us. One of the main purposes of this meeting is, of course, to give you an update about the various actions carried out by the Foundation, and the review will follow the different categories of needs according to the age of the beneficiaries, and it will be illustrated by concrete examples on the ground. The other top objective of this meeting is to increase and accelerate the level of engagement of the Ardian employees. No need for me to give you more details, as you're about to know everything in a short moment. Just one last word about the interactive part of this meeting. We have prepared you few WooClap sessions. Thanks to this application, we will be able to submit you a few questions that you will be about to answer, whether you are in the room or connected online by phone or laptop. It's really as you prefer. I will tell you when to participate. But now, let's get started. To officially launch this annual general meeting, let's welcome on stage the Ardian member of the Executive Committee and Chief Operating Officer, Jérémy Delecourt. Hello, Jérémy. I give you the mic and leave you the floor.
Thank you so much, Frédéric. Hello, everybody. I'm very pleased to be with you in Paris today and all over the world, thanks to the technology. I'm very proud to be part of this Ardian Foundation adventure. And I wanted to, in the name of the COMEX, on behalf of the COMEX, I wanted to share a few ideas about the foundation today. You know that we decided to create this foundation with the idea that it was our moral duty at Ardian to share with people around us, because there are growing inequalities in this world. And we know that at Ardian, we are very lucky, we have a good job and good revenues. So it's a duty for us to share. We also had from the beginning the idea that education was a space of development for the Ardian Foundation, because we have an educational spirit at Ardian. We know we like to share with our younger colleagues. We like to teach them. We like to learn at Ardian. And the great principle of the foundation are really fitting the culture of our company. Then, a few years ago, we decided to focus more precisely on early childhood. And we think it's very important, because even though all education is important to us, we think that we can have more impact by focusing on early childhood. It means both helping charities in curative projects to help children that might need help, but also working on research and financing research, because this is a space that has not been explored much yet in the past, and we want to see how we can really help children, young children, to become happy adults who play their part in this world normally, by better understanding the key driver of becoming a happy and citizen, a happy adult. So I think this is also important to invest in advocacy, and not only do things on our side, but explain everybody around the foundation why it is important to focus on early childhood. Luckily, I say that in France, this project has also been brought forward by the current government. They've understood that the 1,000 first days are very important in the development of children. I am myself the father of 4 children, and I think know a bit about that. So, as I said before, other projects are important. We've been also supporting many other education projects during the first years or the 21st years of students. So it's good we have a focus, but it's good we welcome other educational projects, so starting from very little children to young students. About the foundation, I've understood from the team who is here with us today, Ardian, Anna, and of course Carol, that we were very happy to have new offices joining the Ardian Foundation project, the Spanish office, the Swiss office, and the Jersey office. So I would like you to clap for them and welcome them. A warm welcome. You know, we now have new offices, you know, in the Netherlands and in Canada and in Sweden. So with only 1 or 2 employees, so it will be easy to have them join the foundation too, but their impact won't be huge yet. And I will say, and we are very happy, I'm very happy to know that we have had 200 employees donating to the foundation and 110 employees giving their time to the foundation. So I'm a very positive man, so I am very happy to have 200 employees giving to this foundation. But I am also a bit disappointed by the number because we're 1,000 employees. So I hope that we will double, triple this number of people soon, but still it's a good number and we can go much higher. Personally, I am very happy to have the foundation as a leverage for my own beliefs and my test for donating. So first of all, I would like to say that I have always given because I think it's my duty and this is the way I've been educated. And I think that among the greatest joy in life, the greatest happiness is the happiness of giving. And I think I knew it because of my religious education, maybe, and my cultural education, but I've always felt a great joy each time I could give in my life. I also think that it's a duty not for me, but for Ardian more largely. Personally, I gave to many charities, including the charity shared by Frédéric Bedos, the Projet Imagine, who is doing some, who is producing some programs to incentivize people into being good citizens. Maybe you will be able to look on the website and you will understand better, but I really believe in this project in building good citizenship through media. I've been giving to many other projects to educating people, to help them grow, to educate them. And I must say that I found in the foundation a way to leverage my donation. We are in the business of private equity, we're in the business of leverage, and you can even do leverage through the foundation. This is great. I wish you a good 1 hour and 15 minutes now left. I hope you enjoy all the presentation you have, and I thank you very much for supporting the foundation higher and further and stronger.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for those words of introduction, and thank you for your support and your trust. So, to give us all a global vision of the Ardian Foundation's achievements, let's welcome on stage its president, Carole Barnet, and its treasurer, Mathieu Labouche. Please take a seat. So, you and Mathieu, you've got the difficult mission to summarize in few minutes what is the DNA of the Ardian Foundation, but also tell us what are the achievements and objectives by the end of the year. Carole, do you want to begin?
With pleasure. Thank you for all the ones that have come today. So, as I said last year, the foundation has two reasons to be. First, our beneficiaries, and second, your collective engagement. So we're delighted that many of you are here today, and with Mathieu, we will present you the key figures of the foundation, knowing that our colleagues will take you into the reality and on the ground of our charities. So this year, the foundation supported 600,000 direct and indirect beneficiaries from 0 to 25 years old across 10 countries. The budget for 2023 is 4 million euros, which is plus 20% versus last year. It's very important because it's a strong testimony of our willingness to support more underprivileged children, especially in this particular context of very severe inflation and difficult conditions for them. This budget of 4 million was spread across 56 charities, of which 44 were renewed partnerships and 12 were new partnerships. So, Mathieu, can you tell us how we do this?
Sure, Carol. So our project managers team has grown from 20 members in 2020 to 50 this year. We have 3 new offices that joined us, like it was said by Jeremy earlier, with projects which were Madrid, Zurich, and Jersey. We reviewed 80 charities candidates either by assessing them or monitoring them in 2022 and 2023. We held 6 advisory committee sessions since the start of the year, which all gave some fruitful discussions in order to decide, well, first of all, what's their potential and what's their value add, and also to decide what's the good decision and the appropriate decision to take for us. And in parallel, we launched our impact assessment project, which Anna will tell you more about. But the foundation activity is not only about its portfolio charities. So Carol, can you tell us more on that, please?
Yes, so as always, there were a lot of great initiatives taken by many of you. So first, on the field of the employees' charities, in 2022, there were 20 Ardian employees, and Jeremy was among them, who presented their charities that are tackling causes that are important to them. And thanks to the matching system, the foundation was able to contribute at the level of their funding or their fundraising. So it represented a huge amount of 350,000 euros. In parallel, we have reconducted the research share with the Paris School of Economics that is tackling the social mobility issues. And as Jeremy was saying, it's a very powerful advocacy tool. And this is a 750,000 euros project renewed for the next 3 years. Another development was with Yann, the launch of the Philanthropic Club within France Invest. We invited 40 private equity companies to join, and we today have 22 active members. Last but not least, we collectively raised 200,000 euros for Ukraine and 50,000 euros for Turkey and Syria.
Yeah, and this is great, because in total in 2022, like it was said by Jeremy, 205 employees donated money to the foundation, and we would like to thank each one of them for their continued support. Furthermore, in addition to Ardian and Anna, we were 116 to give some of our time last year to the foundation.
Mathieu, this is really great, but we want collectively and have the ambition to accelerate. So do we have the means to do it?
For sure. So the annual budget of the foundation is expected to continue growing to reach 8 to 10 million euros by 2030. And in the short term, we plan to onboard 300 new joiners to help and support our charities further, and Ardian will tell you more on that.
Well, I think that was a very efficient summary. Well done, guys. I think they deserve a round of applause. Very efficient. Mathieu, you just turned 30 and you are a very busy man. So can you share with us why it is so important for you to work within the foundation and how you manage to get so involved despite your busy schedule?
Yep, with pleasure, Frédéric. So having engagements is something that has always been important to my parents and that they have brought me up with. From young age, most of my engagements were in sports, but as I grew up and became older, I started adding some social engagements. So my first engagement was at ABO, where I was a member. ABO is a charity that takes disabled children on weekends. And then progressively I become responsible for some social patrols like you can see on that picture. So what I learned from these two experiences were three things. First, it's not a question of time, but it's a question of priority and prioritizing. Second, we actually receive a lot more in these engagements than what we give. And third, it's very rewarding to see how much collectively we can get things done by unifying our strengths. So when I joined Ardian about 7 years ago, I was motivated to actually participate and take part in some of the actions and events that were organized by the Ardian Foundation. So I ran les courses du Jardin de Luxembourg. I took some disabled children to an aquarium for half a day. I visited some elderlies in retirement homes. And lastly, I became a mentor of 3-2-1, the program that was launched by Ardian Foundation a few years ago. But still I felt I could do more and I had the time to do more. So when I heard that the foundation was looking for a new treasurer, it was actually quite natural for me to apply to this role. About 2 weeks ago, I attended Act 23, which is a seminar that's organized by Ardian's HR team. And during this seminar, I think we discussed what it meant to be a secure-based leader, and 2 words were brought up, which was caring and daring. And I think these 2 words represent very well my engagement at the Ardian Foundation. It's about caring for the community and daring to take this engagement. So as I'm sure you are all very caring people, well, what I want to encourage you today is to actually to dare and to join us at the Ardian Foundation.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this testimony, which is really in echo with the few words of introduction of Jérémy, the happiness of giving. Thank you for your sincerity. I think we can warmly applaud Mathieu Labouche and Carole Barnet. Thank you so much. For Ardian Foundation, working on early childhood is absolutely crucial. The persons I'm about to call are both project managers working at the foundation on this field of early childhood here in France. Let's welcome on stage Maria Daguerre and François de la Sayette. Please take a seat besides me. Maria, François, you are both engaged on early childhood. So first of all, can you give us your views over the subject? Why is early childhood such an interesting topic for you? François, maybe you want to begin?
Yes, definitely. So I joined the foundation because it's a field that interests me a lot, and it's very exciting to be able to work in this environment. I also think that as a private company, we can contribute to the financing capacity of these organizations and help them increase their impact. As you know, the foundation's priority is to support projects in the early childhood, where many inequalities are created for the most disadvantaged children. We are very proud to have reached an annual budget of over €1 million, which is distributed among 19 partner charities worldwide, working with children in need aged from 0 to 6. And in France, we support 4 different charities, working especially in parenting support and in nutrition. And we are very, very proud to say that by 2023, this association will have an impact on just over 100,000 children children under 3 years old, and so that's very a nice thing to us. But there is more than 400,000 children in need in France under the poverty line, so there is sadly plenty of room to grow.
In order to address this issue in the most efficient way, you have identified a brand new sector to explore. Maria, can you explain?
Sure. So it was important for us, in addition to supporting very impactful charities that work closely with families and with children, to add another layer to our strategy by funding research. And why so? Because it allows us to really identify where the inequalities are and also to tackle them through very actionable solutions. I recently joined the foundation as this theme echoes to me, and many of us at Ardian also can relate to the topic. We tend to say that also as adults, we don't really know what the future can hold for us. And for children, the parallel would be that we don't really know what the past can hold against them or for them. And so it was also very, very critical to really focus on these first years, 0 to 3 years, which are very important for them, for the children on so many grounds. And the foundation will play a role by actually proposing actionable solutions through this research that we are all funding.
Could we say that this research work motivates you to get involved with the foundation?
Yes, definitely.
Definitely, yeah. Thank you both and congrats for the work you are doing. Let's applaud Maria Daguerre and François de la Sayette. Voilà. As you can see, the foundation considers early childhood research to be of the utmost importance. We are delighted to introduce you to the person who has taken up the challenge. She is a second-year PhD student at Sciences Po and the École Normale Supérieure, École Nationale Supérieure. She is about to share with us some insights about her work on the determinants of the early childcare enrollment gap. Let's welcome warmly the young and brilliant researcher, Lodine Carbuccia. Hello, Lodine. So take the seat in the center. You've got this for your slides. Make yourself at home. The floor is yours.
So hi, thank you, Dominique, for this wonderful introduction. So I'm Lodine. I'm 27 years old, sorry. and I've always been passionate about combating inequalities and social inequalities. And very early in my study, I realized that inequalities start as early childhood. And as I delved into the topic of how to combat inequalities in early childhood, I quickly realized that attending high-quality childcare structures, such as daycare structure, is a very important lever to fight these inequalities because it acts on two main channels. On the first hand, it helps reducing the gaps in children's cognitive development that appears from very early on. And on the other hand, it also helps foster women's employment and hence reduce income inequalities. But the thing is that nearly all over the world, people that would benefit the most from attending this structure, that is underprivileged parents, attend these structures the least. This is what we call the early childcare enrollment gap. And indeed, you may not be aware of this, but this gap exists in nearly every Western country, and particularly in France. So what you can see in this graph, I think, really illustrates the French paradox. So we have very high rates of enrollment, but also very high inequalities. And this gap resists to several public policies that try to reduce it. For instance, the cost of the structure, that is an obvious barrier for underprivileged parents, is not now reduced through subsidies. And also, it resisted the 3.4 billion euros invested by the government in 2017 to increase the number of places. However, as I was telling you about, these policies have had so far very limited impact on these inequalities. So you may wonder why this is the case. So am I. I don't have a clear answer yet, but one thing that I can tell you is that something that have been completely overlooked by policymakers so far is what is happening on parent side. And indeed, for instance, reducing the cost is one thing, but if parents are not aware that this cost is now reduced through subsidies, they will not react by applying more. So this is why I decided to dedicate my PhD to understanding the various factors that can account for these inequalities, and also to developing public policies that efficiently target this gap and finally tackle the circle of inequalities for good. So last year, I started my PhD by an extensive qualitative fieldwork. So first, I interviewed stakeholders, but then, and most importantly, I interviewed 68 pregnant parents, mothers, and parents of young babies. And so now let me walk you through a bit some of my findings. So on the early childcare system side, I discovered that the system in France is utterly complex. And in particular, one thing is that parents have to apply very early during their children's life, especially before the child turns one, and around the May or June within this first year. After that, finding a place in childcare becomes much more harder. So now turning to parent side, I was quite surprised to see that underprivileged parents desire to access early childcare structures just as much as more privileged parents. However, in this, even half of stay-at-home mothers said that they really wanted to use these structures, but surely less intensively as they can take care of their child, and later, especially after the child turns one, because they really think that the best for their child is to spend this first year with them. However, during their pregnancy journey and also their application journey, parents face significant information barriers. They are, for instance, more likely to overestimate the cost of these structures and to underestimate their eligibility. And they also underestimate the complexity of the system and how hard finding a place is. For this reason, and maybe also because of the many other problems that they have to deal with, such as housing issues or money issues, underprivileged parents tend to apply to fewer structures and also later, especially after the child turned one. And by doing so, they are missing the crucial cutoff of the first year of the child's life I was telling you about a minute ago. And one last point that I wanted to mention is that many parents also reported that they started the application process but never finished it because of administrative barriers. For instance, in the Val-de-Marne, all application for structures has to go through a very complicated website with no mobile version. So then, in the light of these results, I wanted to dedicate the rest of my PhD to developing and testing an intervention to try to effectively act on these barriers. So last year, in the beginning of the year, along with my 4 research assistants, I recruited 1,860 pregnant parents, mothers again, in the waiting room of prenatal appointment of several maternity wards in the Paris region. And they answered an extensive questionnaire about early childcare structures and their intention to apply to these structures. And shortly after their recruitment, they were randomized in 3 different conditions. So the first third of the population served as the control group and received no information on early childcare structure. And 1/3 of these parents received information identified in the qualitative fieldwork as really missing to underprivileged parents. by text message and videos in their language, their own language. So just to give you an overview of what it looks like. So the first video was about which early childcare structure best fits parents' needs to help them navigate this complex system. The second one was about helping parents estimating the cost for themselves and to find the early childcare structures around them. The third one was a focus on the Alto Garderie, which is a less intensive early childcare structure that is completely ignored by non-working mothers. And the fourth one was about really step-by-step how to apply to a place in childcare and who can help parents if they need help. And the last one was about the tips and tricks to apply and to maximize one's odds of getting a place, especially applying early during pregnancy and applying to multiple structures. And finally, to act on administrative barriers, the last third of parents received the very same information, but was also proposed an administrative support to early childcare enrollment if they wanted to. So this time it was by a team of 7 research assistants. So we don't have the full results yet, but parents already came back to us since a month ago with heartwarming messages saying us that they obtained the place thanks to us. But to truly assess the impact of our intervention, we will call all parents back in November to assess whether they effectively apply to a place in childcare and whether they get a slot. And what I love about this intervention is that as it's very inexpensive and easily and really easy to implement, it could be easily scaled up to all parents first in France. So thank you very much for your attention, and I really wanted to jump on the occasion to really thank the Ardian Foundation, without whom none of this would have been possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Claudine. Merci. Thank you so much, Claudine, for this fascinating presentation. And thank you for being such a committed researcher. Yes. I think it's a perfect moment for our first interactive session. So, time for the WooClap. To participate, it's very simple. As you can see, there is a QR code on the screen. You just have to scan it. Of course, you've got to go to wooclap.com, which is the website dedicated to this WooClap session. You enter the event code in the top banner, IFD 23, and then you will be asked this question, how many children under 3 years old live below the poverty line in France? It's a tricky question, but I think we had the answer just a little bit earlier. So it will be a way to check out if everybody follow and if the informations go through. So we give you the time not only to scan the QR code, but also to think about the question and to answer it. And we will be able to see how many % of the people have the right answer in a moment. You don't have what? Oh, the Wi-Fi doesn't work in the room, so I hope it works for the people who are connected. Are you all without the Wi-Fi connection right now? No, it doesn't work? Oh my God. Well, you know, it worked during the rehearsal, so it's exactly what we need, you know. Most of the time, that's the way it is. When we are on live, it crashes. So, is it? Yes. Oh, so we don't do the result because, yeah, half of the people can't. So you will tell us if we can have the other WooClap session. Well, that was great, don't you think? So, you know what? Let's move on to the next level, primary education. They are both project managers in United Kingdom, so let's welcome Maëlys Lada and Delphine Eke. Please come at my side. Delphine, Maëlys. The Ardian Foundation has decided to support a splendid initiative that takes place in UK. Can you tell us what it is all about? Delphine?
Sure. Hi, everyone. So I'm Delphine, and alongside Maëlys, today we will be speaking about one of our partner charities, which is a magic breakfast. So despite the UK being one of the top economies in the world, unfortunately, 1 in 4 children actually are at risk of hunger and arrive hungry at school. So Magic Breakfast was established 20 years ago to tackle this hunger, this issue of child hunger. And every day, Magic Breakfast actually distributes more than 200,000 healthy and nutritious breakfasts to children in need.
So this is really impressive. We've got a great video presenting Magic Breakfast. Let's watch it.
I always remember going into a breakfast club and seeing a little boy. He would have been maybe 10, 11 years old. And he ate with such ferocity that it was really very clear that he probably hadn't had anything to eat since school lunch the day before.
Hunger is something that should not be going on in England. Many years that I've gone without, you could see the bones jutting out of my chest because I had 3 children and it's me they're relying on.
Poverty is not having the choice. I don't choose to go hungry every day. I go hungry because I don't have the choice.
So at Magic Breakfast, our mission is no child too hungry to learn. We support children in schools, in cities, in towns, states. There is poverty everywhere in the UK.
We feed approximately between 90 to 100 children per day. They just love coming, they are more willing to learn, but it also gives them a sense of pride and independence.
I go to breakfast club every single day. My favourite food is bagels. I have bagels and some fruit.
Every child starts off, a bundle of potential, really, aren't they? But you can't teach a hungry child. If you can meet the basic needs of a child, then you unlock the potential for the rest of that day and the rest of that year and the rest of their lives. And that's what I feel that we do. They really latch on to the idea of a magic breakfast. And it truly is magic because of what it means to the child.
Every child needs to know that they're special, that they're wanted, that they are supposed to be here. Every child should be able to have a meal regardless of their circumstances. It's not their fault.
We have the evidence that shows having a breakfast makes a difference to children's education and attainment, achieve better GCSE results, and of course that means that they go on to have a better kind of job, better income for themselves, and the chance to break out of a cycle of poverty into which they were born.
When I'm older, I want to be a doctor because they help people. When I'm older, I would like to be an astronaut.
When I'm older, I want to run as an MP, fight for change, represent kids from deprived neighbourhoods in Parliament.
Can I go play with your electric car?
Yeah, you can. Oh.
Well, as you can see in the video, the action is highly efficient. But despite that, it's now threatened in many ways, isn't it, Maëlys?
Sure. As shown in the video, Magic Breakfast provide a much-needed support and remain important in many children's lives. But with COVID-19 pandemic and the inflation, it hit hard and had a triple impact on Magic Breakfast. One, the number of children in need has risen dramatically from 1.7 million in 2020 to nearly 4 million children in need in 2022. Two, they lost nearly £1 million, which represent like 12.5% of their funding budget in 2022, and so it reduced their reach. Three, the food inflation in the UK is above 18%, and the price of bagels, the main product of Magic Breakfast, has increased by 19% in a year. So over the last 5 years, the price per breakfast has increased by 27% from 22 pennies to 28 pennies. So as a partner of Magic Breakfast, since 2018, Ardian has helped funding more than 1 billion breakfasts, and we recently decided to raise our funding by 50% and for the next 3 years to help tackle the effect of the inflation. With this additional funding, we will help Magic Breakfast reach more children in need and provide healthy breakfast, enabling them to thrive academically and personally.
As a conclusion, I think that you want to give a special message to the audience. Is that correct?
Yes. So Magic Breakfast long-term vision is actually to not exist. They are really committed to get the government to step up and tackle this issue of child hunger. But unfortunately, until that day comes, Magic Breakfast need our support. And actually, with the cost of living crisis, all charities and the Ardian Foundation need your support.
Yes, each of us can contribute as individuals or as employees. You can either participating in a charity event, run from them, or contributing through the Click and Give Ardian app, or simply raise awareness around you, around us. And I'm sure that our collective effort will make a significant impact in the life of vulnerable children.
It can really make a difference. Thank you, Delphine. Thank you, Maëlys, for this vibrant call of action. I got one last question for both of you. Can you reveal to us what lies at the heart of your commitment? Delphine, do you want to begin?
Sure. So I've been involved with the Ardian Foundation soon after I actually joined Ardian. To me, giving and helping others is really important. I really believe in those values, and what I like about the Ardian Foundation is it's not always easy to actually figure out which charity you want to help and how are you going to find the time in your busy schedules to actually dedicate to some charities. And with the Ardian Foundation, it makes it so much easier. And I truly believe that each Ardian employee could and should dedicate time or give some money to the Ardian Foundation.
Maëlys, do you want to add something?
Sure. I joined the foundation last month as a project manager for this charity. And to be honest, I didn't know it was such a topic until I deep dive into it. So now I understood the importance of implement change in the life of children at early stage to leverage social mobility. We can all contribute, as I explained earlier, as individuals or employees. For instance, I will run my first half marathon in London in September, and I'll take a chance to raise funds for this charity through the Click and Give app. So wish me luck and let's contribute.
Yes, the message is crystal clear. Let's applaud Delphine Eke and Maëlys Lada. Thank you so much. It's really necessary to have those new astronauts, doctors, and so on. Huh? We need them. So do we have the Wi-Fi back, or do we just give up about the Woo clap? It's here and there. So what do we do with the Woo clap session? Do we try it? We try it? Okay, so here is the second question, match the numbers with the right category. And of course, you will see the different categories, which are bagels, children in the UK, children fed every day by Magic Breakfast. Does it work, guys? Can you? Yeah, do you have Wi-Fi? Are you able to connect? Oh, it seems to work. Great. So I'll let you think about it. Five, four, three, two, 1, 0. Time's up. So what was the right answer? Oh, wow, that was a little bit divided. So it's not really, when you add, it's not really, it's a little bit more than 100%. It's a bit strange. So I'm not good in mathematics, but anyway. So yeah, well, the conclusion is that it's really unbelievable to imagine that 212,000 children every day need to take a breakfast at school because they cannot take this breakfast or eat at home, and this number continues to grow with the inflation. That's what was just explained, and that's why the work of Magic Breakfast is so magic. It's time now to explore what the Ardian Foundation is doing for secondary education. There are project managers involved in this field in France, so please join me on stage. Jean-David Ponsin and Clément Chidiac. Please make yourself at home. So before getting to the heart of the matter, Jean-David and Clément, in one word, could you just tell us what your commitment in the foundation means to you?
Hello everyone, I am Jean-David and I've been working at Ardian for more than 15 years. I joined the Ardian Foundation 6 years ago as I also wanted to give back part of the company's success. Why the secondary education? Simply because it's an area of interest for me. And thanks to the Ardian Foundation also, I had the chance to meet with a lot of charities, which made me aware of burning topics that I didn't know in the French secondary education system. How about you, Clément?
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. So when Jean-David approached me 2 years ago with the opportunity of helping him with the secondary education pocket, I was happy to join and also join the Ardian Foundation. I think it was a way for me to start giving back, because I do realize we're quite fortunate to work in this industry, and at Ardian especially. And so it was a way for me also to help other people get that same chance.
So thank you very much for sharing this. For this annual general meeting, you want to make a special focus on a particular charity. It will provide a concrete illustration of the nature of the work of the foundation in the field of secondary education. Jean-David.
Thank you, Frédéric. Yes, today, Clément and myself would like to talk to you about Chemin d'Avenir, the flagship project of our secondary education pocket. This is a charity I have personally onboarded in 2019, following a very thorough selection process. The purpose of the charity is to help young people aged between 13 and 21 and who lives in rural areas of France. These young people are often overlooked by public policies and lack opportunities. And then the mission of Chemin d'Avenir is to help these young people in terms of their academic, personal, and professional choices.
The founder and CEO of the association was unable to join us today, but she was keen to send us a message of gratitude. So before going any further into the description, let's discover a message. Just for you, here is Salomé Berliou.
Je suis Salomé Berliou, la fondatrice et la directrice générale de l'association Chemin d'Avenir. Je suis très heureuse d'avoir aujourd'hui l'occasion d'évoquer la relation partenariale qui unit la Fondation Ardian et Chemin d'Avenir. C'est une relation véritablement de confiance, conçue sur le long terme, puisque la Fondation soutient Chemin d'Avenir depuis 2019. Et c'est une relation très précieuse pour nous, notamment dans le cadre de notre changement d'échelle, puisqu'elle porte aussi bien sur une dimension très opérationnelle, avec l'accompagnement de jeunes dans les zones rurales et les petites villes, ou sur des aspects d'essaimage de nos actions, mais aussi qu'elle contient une dimension beaucoup plus stratégique. Je pense par exemple au travail fait sur notre mesure d'impact. Je suis donc évidemment heureuse et fière de ce partenariat avec un acteur majeur de la philanthropie.
Jean-David, Clément, why was it obvious for the Ardian Foundation to decide to give support to Chemin d'Avenir?
Yeah, so Chemin d'Avenir's uniqueness is that it targets youth in rural areas in France. Most of the French population lives in these areas and outside of large cities, but conversely, most of the initiatives and charities in social mobility are actually focused on urban areas. These young students in rural areas face the same challenges as their urban counterparts, such as for social mobility, such as self-censorship, digital divide, or lack of information. But they also have to face another challenge, which is rural isolation. And what that entails is having to travel long distances, so 30, 40 kilometers, to have access to culture or different academic paths, while relying on weaker and low-frequency public transport infrastructures. They also have fewer opportunities for jobs, because these are also areas where corporates are generally less well established. And we think this is really a shame, because there's a lot of very talented young individuals out there who are just not aware of the field of possibilities. Wouldn't you agree, Jean-David?
Yeah. When we first met with Chemin d'Avenir in 2018, I've been personally very impressed by the professionalism and the growth profile of the charity, despite it being very young. You've seen Salomé Berriou on the video. She founded the charity, and she has clearly been a key element of the success, and she managed to secure very strong partnerships very early on. And given we have been involved with Chemin d'Avenir very early, we have also been able to accompany the growth of the charity, and over time we have increased our support and our financial commitment. Just a quick example, since our relationship started in 2019, the number of academies covered by Chemin d'Avenir grew from 3 to 15, and we are very proud to accompany this tremendous growth.
So can you explain to us how it works?
Yes, so Chemin d'Avenir does a lot of things for these students, but mostly it's the mentorship program. The mentorship program is the pairing of a student, a mentee, with an active professional, working professional, the mentor. And this is a relationship that's built over months and sometimes years. And the mentor provides guidance and helps the student navigate his academic paths. Chemin d'Avenir has established 5,000 mentorships since 2016, and they're constantly on the lookout for new mentors. Jean-David will talk to you about this a little bit later. These interactions are very crucial for the mentees, because it really helps them benefit from a different perspective from a working and active professional, and helps them, guide themselves through these very important life choices. What we've also seen is that a lot of the mentees, the former Chemin d'Avenir mentees, are now rejoining the program as mentors now that they have graduated, and we think this is a really strong virtuous circle. Finally, the Chemin d'Avenir organizes events, career fairs, and also targets policymakers to try and raise awareness about this topic in the public debate. Jean-David, could you explain how Ardian employees can help?
Yes, first of all, it's very valuable for young people to hear about our careers, because private equity and financial jobs, generally speaking, are not very well known. So there, it's very useful. So if you want to help, you can participate in mentoring program. You can come and visit the charity tomorrow. They will be there at the Village des Associations. So you will have the chance to meet persons of the charity in real life, and you can also participate in and present your job in forums, and we will come back to you with some slots very shortly.
Thank you so much for your explanations. It's very inspiring. So let's give a warm applause to Jean-David Ponsin and Clément Chidiac. Thank you so much. Very inspiring. As I said in my introduction, today it's not just about describing the various actions led by the foundation. It's also about the need to increase the number of collaborators engaged and the impact of that increase. To tell us all about that topic, let's welcome on stage the two foundation's employees, Anna Choric and Adia Kebe. Please join me. Take a seat. Voila. Anna, let's start with you. I think you've got a lot of things to tell us.
A lot of things, but not a lot of time. So, to begin, we wanted to give you a more global picture of our portfolio. So, as you've understood, the foundation classifies its partner charities by educational segments. So, we have 56 partner charities in 10 different countries. For a budget of 4 million euros. And starting this year, we're very proud to announce that we are dedicating 33% of our budget to early childhood projects. So as we go further in our venture philanthropy strategy, we wanted to understand what impact we have on our charities and especially how we can improve going forward. We decided to do this impact measurement study with experts, and we chose Kimso to do this. And we realized 4 key things. The first was that almost all of our partner charities are very well versed in impact measurement. So that was a very positive thing. The second was that for 85% of our charities, our financial grant is crucial for the continuity of their operations. Third, we learned that our partnership actually becomes key in the scaling up phase, with about 55% of our partner charities asking us to finance a program that they want to scale. And lastly, we found that 69% of our charities still need a lot of help when it comes to skills. So if we focus on what we do well, it was heartwarming to see how our partner charities describe their relationship with us. We pride ourselves on having very open communication with our charities and supporting them and challenging them to become even better. But we also believe in constructive criticism and listening to our partner charities, because they are the experts. They are on the ground in contact with our beneficiaries on a daily basis. So our role is really to respond to the needs of our charities and how we can help them to better serve our beneficiaries. But luckily, this feedback shows us that we don't only talk the talk, but we walk the walk.
I love that line. So great.
But as with any study, the study also showed us how we can improve what we do. And so our direct impact can be improved firstly because 61% of our partner charities want more visibility on our partnerships. So we have an objective really to improve the number of multi-annual grants that we issue. The second was that in terms of visibility, we have 87% of our partner charities that want us to advocate more strongly for them to other partners. So in order to address this need, we're looking at how we can leverage our wider Ardian network. But while we're kind of building this long-term relationship with our partners, they become more demanding of our time, more demanding of us, but also more demanding of you, our employees. And what really stood out for our charities is their need for pro bono work, their need for skills, specific skills. And so it became very clear to us that the best way to help our charities is to identify opportunities for you to get involved.
In line with that, Adia, can you tell us how you try to respond to this need raised by your partner charities?
Yes. You know, first, in today's world of uncertainty, with the climate change, with the growing inequalities, with the violence and more we are all facing, I know that many people, and I also speak for myself, are wondering how they can be more useful to society, how they can help, and how they can do something. But we never really know where or how to start. What I can say is that ever since I joined Ardian, and it was already 7 years ago, I saw that this foundation really has the power to help each of us take the plunge. I witnessed so many employees be active by giving time both to the foundation and to our partner charities. But what we also witness is that it's sometimes the same employees who are either staying with us or continuing their support, and we are really struggling in reaching all of you. Therefore, it was just natural for us to think about more opportunities for each employee at Ardian to be active and to give time to the foundation and our partner charities.
And the result of this reflection leads to a big announcement. Am I right, Adia?
Yes, you are. Thanks to the support of human resources, sustainability, and Millennial Comics, we have been able to make this wish a reality. And I'm really proud to be the one to announce that we are launching Act for Change.
Look at that.
So Act for Change is the new engagement program that will allow each of you to give time to the foundation and our partner charities. Act for Change is yours. Our goal with this program is really to make you aware of how each and every one of us can make a change.
So that's fantastic. Thank you very much for these first elements. We will go back to that a little bit later. Adia, you will stay with me a little more, and Anna will come back on stage at the end of this conference for the Q&A session, but I think she already deserves a big round of applause. This question of engagement directly concerns the Human Resources Department of the company. So to shed some light on this aspect, let's welcome Maria Stas, co-head of HR and managing director. So Maria, as HR representative, what message would you like to pass on to the collaborators?
Thank you, Frederic. Hello, everyone. So first of all, I will take this occasion to say that at the HR department, we are very satisfied with the work we are doing, the collaboration with the foundation. We have been able to leverage on the work done with the association to increase our pipeline of diverse talent. So let's continue this work. Congratulations for this amazing initiative, Act for Change. We are delighted to support this initiative with the foundation, the sustainability, and the MCOMEX. So our objective, of course, is to encourage every employee at Ardian to dedicate more time to the foundation and to the charities. So starting with Ardian France, with the support of the COMEX and the Work Council, we have reviewed our collective agreement. And so I am very pleased to announce that starting this month, every employee within Ardian France will be given 3 days per year to dedicate to the charities. Those 3 days will be fully paid, and they will be on top of the holidays you already have. So that's going to be amazing, and that's a real occasion to give more time. Our objective, of course, is to develop this initiative to all subsidiaries, and we will also have a pilot in the New York office. So the foundation is part of Ardian culture, and this initiative is really done to encourage every employee to give more time, and so that Ardian can have an even greater social and societal impact.
So now it's official, Act for Change is launched right here, right now. Hadia, can you tell us some more about it, how it will work, when it will start, and so on?
Yes, of course. So Act for Change will start tomorrow in Paris and New York, as Maria was saying. And as we really want to reach each of you, each Ardian employees, we will gradually roll out to other offices, but we really want to grow this program step by step. So first, it will be a pilot in Paris and New York. Concretely, with Act for Change, we plan various and accessible missions so that you can find your way around. I am talking about pro bono work, Citizens Day, coaching, mentoring programs, etc. but I don't want to say too much because I invite you tomorrow all to come here to the auditorium. Sorry for the colleagues that are not in Paris. But you will see that this environment will completely change because we will invite 6 partner charities of the foundation here. The goal is for you to meet with them, chat with them, and see what kind of already missions they can propose to you in order for you to engage with us and our partner charities. We are really counting, on your massive presence tomorrow, first to show the right message to our partner charities, of course, but also, as I was saying in the beginning, to take this plunge and have collectively a greater impact.
Thank you very much, Adia, for the explanations and for the invitation, of course. You will come back on stage a little bit later. Thank you, Maria Stas. You can both return to your seats, accompanied by a warm round of applause. To continue to explore this engagement topic, I will now be joined by a project manager based in Spain, Juan Entrecanales, and a foundation board member and US lead project manager, Charles Adiakpa. Let's welcome them both. Hello, guys. Please take the seat. Charles, I will begin with you. How do you feel about this announcement? What do you think about Act for Change?
I think it's amazing, and congratulations to Ardian. I'm very excited. I think it's a significant moment for Ardian and its workforce. It's significant because it demonstrates Ardian's willingness to take an active effort to take the urgent challenge our society is currently facing. I love this project because it builds on the success of Click and Give, the app that we launched in 2019 to make time donation and money donation finally easy within Ardian. And also, last but not least, I love this project because it perfectly aligns with the desire of the current millennial COMEX to increase very significantly the volunteering opportunities across all Ardian employees, from senior management to analysts. So I'm very excited to see this long-awaited vision to become reality.
It becomes a reality. Juan, despite the fact that you are a new project manager in the foundation, you already are supporting an amazing charity in Spain called Caribou. So I got 2 questions for you. What are the roots of your commitment, and how do you support this Caribou association?
Absolutely. So when I first heard about the plans of the Ardian Foundation to expand its presence into Spain, I got very excited because I had been following for several years already the great work our fellow Ardian Foundation members have been doing all across the globe. And more particularly for our office, we were very excited because there's a lot of inequalities and issues to tackle in Spain. More personally, I have been involved for many years already with different charities, local charities in Madrid, addressing the needs and issues of children and teenagers such as UNICEF. So I took this opportunity to contribute to the Ardian Foundation and give back to society. And together with Aurea, who is with us also today, we volunteer as project managers. And over the past 12 months, I would say we've done quite a few things. We have met with many local charities trying to understand their needs, their challenges, assess the inequalities, meet with stakeholders, and finally, and ultimately very important, to select the first partner charity in Spain, which is Caribou. Caribou is a charity the Ardian Foundation is going to support for the 3 coming years. And Caribou means welcome in Swahili. And this word really reflects the purpose of the foundation, because Caribou has been for more than 35 years in Madrid, focusing on the sub-Saharan communities that arrive to our city, providing them in first place with humanitarian support and also fostering the integration of both children and adults into the Spanish society. More particularly, our project, or the project the Ardian Foundation is supporting and sponsoring, focus on children, on education, where we are going to continue providing to reduce the achievement gap and fostering integration of these sub-Saharan children aged 3 to 12 through arts,
through fun, through curiosity. Aura and myself are very excited about this project because we believe it really embodies the mission or the purpose of the Ardian Foundation. First, it tackles inequality through early education, and in this case also with arts. At the same time, it's a well-established project which has already shown good traction, but also it is growing. So our impact is going to be even bigger. We are already working with them actively. We are already planning the new school year in September, and also are now defining the roadmap for the coming 3 years. And more importantly, a bit of figures. So what are we going to do? We're going to support on a daily basis more than 80 kids in the city of Madrid, and our impact could reach thousands of beneficiaries of Caribou. But this, I would say, is just the beginning, because we just started working in Spain, and we look really forward to further involve the Madrid office and take the name and footprint of the Ardian Foundation all across Spain.
So that's so great. Thank you, Juan. Charles, as I previously said, you are a project manager and board member of the foundation, and you have been active for many years now. That's already very amazing. So why do you think it's so important to be engaged in your company?
Thanks for the question, Frederic. So personally, I have always been engaged, may it be with or without Ardian. Before joining Ardian, I was involved in an after-school program in my city, dedicated to teenagers with academic difficulties. Before joining the New York office, where I'm currently located, my wife and I went in Benin, a small country in West Africa, and volunteered for just over a month. We worked with a prison, an orphanage, and a library. And growing up, my parents always were involved in small association and giving time when they could. So now, regardless of your upbringing, regardless of your past choices, I think it's very important to be engaged with your organization for 4 reasons. The first one is a bit cheesy, but I truly believe it's true. We are all sharing a common desire for a better world, although we might not express it the same way.
I don't think it's cheesy. It's great.
At Ardian, while our focus is enhancing the performance of our portfolio companies, for our clients, I'm sure we all long for a better future. And of course, it's crucial to create lasting value through investment, but we must also embrace philanthropy and generosity as an equal path towards this better future. Number 2, engaging while you're working is an easy and almost effortless way to be good, because we tend to put business and philanthropy as opposing forces, but it's actually when we do so, we make them less efficient. The real key is to integrate them. So having a business pursuit that is linked to a true commitment to philanthropy, while philanthropy is empowered by the influence and the resources of the business. Third, despite living in an era of massive abundance, at least materially, we see a growing sense of meaninglessness and lack of purpose in our daily life. And this loss of purpose could drive some employees to take drastic change in their career, or discourage some talented professional to join a talented and promising company like Ardian. So by remaining committed to the philanthropic endeavor of our company, we are reminded that our own success can directly contribute to the abilities of charitable organizations to change meaningfully people's life. Okay, so for me, it's a real powerful way to be part of the solution rather than perpetuating the problem. And finally, in the private equity industry where we all operate, embracing philanthropy is a way to remind us our humanity and our responsibility towards those who are less fortunate. Because it could be easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. It could be easy to be disengaged or cynical in front of the mountain that is in front of us. But through philanthropy, we can remain connected to the world at large, we can foster our sense of empathy, and we can keep fueling this desire that we all have together. So it might not always be the path we want, but it's most definitely the path we need to follow.
Thank you so much, Charles, for this clever demonstration. Thanks to both of you for sharing some of your experiences and give to us your convictions. Let's applaud Juan Entrecanales and Charles Adiakpa. So, what do you think about one last Woo clap? Yes? Let's try that. So, for this last Woo clap, we really need a lot of participation, because you will understand why in a moment when you will discover the question. In your opinion, what are the different ways of supporting a charity? And guess what? Your answers will be displayed as a word cloud, and it will help us to take your opinion into account. So we really need your answers, if you can do that. Let's vote. 40 seconds. And we begin to see, so money and time, just a basic first, funding, people, act for change. It becomes an hashtag, I think, now. Donating, working, peuple in French, which is people. Empathy, what Charles was just talking about. Pro bono work. Material, publicity. Anna Chorich was talking about visibility, the need from the foundations to have more visibility, and also more of your advocacy, knowledge sharing. I think it's finished, huh? So time and money are really the biggest. So you know what to do. And we need all of that. And it's great. Thank you so much for your participation. Adia, can I ask you to join me on stage one last time? Adia Kebe, mesdames et messieurs. Adia, I know that you want to share with us one initiative illustrating the fact that the motivation is growing within the teams.
Yes, indeed. It will be very, very short, but we really wanted to highlight the work of a team, the Buyout Friends. They came to us, to the foundation team, because they wanted to create a solidarity project within their team, and they talk about it in this video.
That's great. Let's watch the video.
Bonjour à tous, on voulait vous présenter aujourd'hui un projet qui nous tient à cœur, qu'on a mené ces dernières semaines avec l'équipe. C'est un projet qui est venu de l'idée d'organiser un événement fédérateur pour l'équipe Buyout. Et assez vite, on s'est orienté sur deux axes, un axe caritatif et un axe sportif. Sur le caritatif, on est hyper content parce qu'on a pu créer un partenariat avec les Restos du Cœur, leur centre Paris 11. Les Restos du Cœur, vous le savez, c'est une association qui aide les plus démunis en apportant notamment une assistance alimentaire.
L'équipe a participé par groupe de 4-5 personnes tous les vendredis matins depuis le 21 avril à la préparation et à la distribution des repas. Et nous avons atteint assez fièrement l'objectif de près de 2000 repas distribués et 100 heures de notre temps donné à l'association.
Et donc en parallèle, nous lançons une collecte jusqu'à fin juillet. Vous pourrez donc apporter des produits d'hygiène et de première nécessité à la cuisine du buyout et ensuite nous les donnerons aux bénéficiaires. Donc vous pouvez apporter shampoing, savon, dentifrice, serviettes hygiéniques pour que les plus démunis puissent garder une bonne hygiène.
Et c'était important pour nous, au-delà du temps qu'on a consacré à l'association, de bien sûr participer financièrement à leurs besoins. Et donc on organise un fundraising autour des 10 km Paris-Centre du 15 octobre 2023.
On compte sur vous.
Well, once again, I think the message is crystal clear. It's not too late to participate to this wonderful action, so you are all invited to help as much as you can. Thank you, Ardian, for this inspiring special focus. I'm sure you can't wait to ask questions and get clarifications. That's good, because now is the time to open the Q&A session. Anna Chorish, can you join me and Ardian on stage to answer the questions? Thank you. So, we've got a few spare mic here in the room. So, of course, if you've got question, you just lift your hand, and so we can handle you a mic to be able to ask the question. And also, we've got questions online. So maybe I begin with the first question online, so that you can all think about the next question. I think it's great that Ardian is moving forward on engagement and allowing each of us to give time. I understood it was only in France that the conventions collectives would adapt. Do you know if this will be adapted to other offices? Well, that's a very, very important question. You want to?
Yes, yeah. Maybe I can start the answer, and maybe Maria, if you're okay, you can join us to answer the rest on the HR part. Yes, I completely agree with the fact that it's very positive. The fact that we are changing the collective agreement of each employee, it really gives the right message. As Maria was saying, we will start in France, because it's actually mandatory to have this for all employees. But for the other offices, I will hand over to Maria.
Okay, thank you, Ardian. So yes, we have done the legal part in France, and I think as soon as we have a little time to observe how it works, we will do the work on the other offices and see legally what has to be done to implement the same days overseas.
Well, I think the very precise question just it really highlights the fact that everybody is very impatient to be on board. So it begins with France and New York, but I think you will have to go on further very quickly. So who wants to ask a question here in the room? Who is the first one to plunge? Mr. So the mic is coming to you.
Hey, this is Jean-Baptiste speaking. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. It was super clear. Now it's much clearer for me I understood that when it comes to helping children, the younger the better. But I was wondering, I have the chance to work at Ardian and to be helped with the foundation, but I was wondering, as individual, how can people help and target directly younger children when giving time or money?
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for this question. Anna?
Thank you for the question. So it's true that it's not very obvious how you can get involved when it comes to much younger children or babies. But one thing that we have realized with the cost of living crisis and the pandemic is that there is a huge need and growing need for material support. So for example, what the buyout team is doing to offer more material support, that's something very tangible that you can do. I'm sure all of us have noticed that the cost of groceries have gone up. Maybe it's stabilizing now, but one thing is for sure, baby food and baby formula continue to be extremely expensive, with in some countries the prices going up by 15%. So there is a huge need for disadvantaged families when it comes to just material support, whether that be diapers or whether that be baby food or anything in that regard would be extremely important for those most disadvantaged. So that would be one action that I would encourage everybody to take part in.
Very interesting. And we've got to think, I'm thinking about Magic Breakfast, and you see, we don't think about a country such as UK for this kind of need, but we need to have in mind that one isolated mother out of 3 in all Europe live below the poverty line. So we really got to have that in mind. Do we have another question in the room? Who wants to raise his or her hand and not regret it after all? Is that okay? Yeah. Well, I've got a sign over there saying that we don't have so much time left, so maybe it's better like that. Because time flies by. And also feel free if you got another question coming to your mind after the conference, feel free to come and discuss with the foundation team members. They are at your disposal and they will be more than happy to give you answers. And of course, for people connected online, you can send us your different questions with the chat. I think we can applaud Anna Choric and Adia Kebe. Thank you so much for your help. So it's time now to conclude this annual meeting. It was a great honor for me to be able to work alongside with the Ardian Foundation team. This is such an important mission, and as you can see, it involves some very serious and sometimes even dramatic situations. It's only by working together relentlessly that we can achieve consistent results in the field. A strong will combined with solid expertise makes all the difference. So for that, I think you can all be very proud. To officially close this annual general meeting, I'd like to ask one last time Carole Barnet to come on stage. Carole.
Thank you.
In the center, because the last words are for you.
It's going to be very short. Just wanted to thank Adia and Anna for the amazing job that you do all along the year for all of us. You're just amazing. Congratulations. Also wanted to thank our 60 project managers, committee members, board members, because you have a constant commitment, and the one who came here show how high convictions they have and deep energy and positive mindset, so it's really great. I wanted to express our gratitude to Frédéric and to Lodine for your great contribution. Thank you so much. And also to, I wanted to say Matthias and Jeremy for their long life support. Finally, please don't forget to come tomorrow morning at the Charity Village here from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Meet with our charities and engage yourself alongside us. Thank you.